Time violent protests in St. Louis after a white former police officer was acquitted in the 2011 death of a black man. Griff Jenkins is live in St. Louis with the latest. Griff, good morning.
Good morning, Leah and Lauren. You know, you're seeing the scene behind me here in downtown St. Louis. They're cleaning up after, for the third night, violent protesters took to the streets, vandalizing things, confronting cops, and destroying property. This is a series of planters as they ran through. This, of course, following on Friday morning, Officer Jason Stockley acquitted in the 2011 shooting death of Anthony Lamar Smith. Now, the pattern has been pretty similar. They start with peaceful protests during the day. Then at night, what the police are calling a criminal element are taking to the streets and causing all of this damage. Sadly, a majority of the businesses hit, nail salons, restaurants, have been small businesses, family-owned businesses, perhaps missing their point in any way. The police chief here, Lawrence O'Toole, saying that this sort of stuff will not be tolerated in the streets. The mayor, Lyda Cruson, who also says that they are not going to let this sort of thing continue to happen. Her home over the weekend having windows broken out. We spoke to one of these protesters who happens to also be the state rep for this area. His name is Bruce Franks Jr. Here's what he had to say about the vandalism that's occurring. Take a listen.
You got hurt folks that feels like a system has failed them. So I understand folks being upset about broken windows, but we got broken lives out here. That doesn't compare.
So quite a lot of damage here for the third night in a row. We're told there may even be some protests later this morning as people try and come to work on Monday morning, guys.
Well, Griff, it's always so sad to see these small businesses impacted because people are looting amid these protests. But you mentioned there might be some more protests today. What are you expecting to build throughout the day?
Well, I think what's going to build throughout the day are peaceful protests. You know, Anthony Lamar Smith, the gentleman who was shot to death, his mother has been out here during the day protests, and she's obviously a grieving mother. However, there is, as the police keep pointing out, at nighttime a different element that seems to come out, and their intention is anything but peaceful protesting. It's just to cause the sort of things that crews are having to come out here and clean up. Windows that'll have to be fixed and boarded up, guys.
And Griff, this case was from 2011, so quite some time ago. I know we just got the verdict, but it shows you that this animosity definitely runs deep.
Well, absolutely. And, you know, it's 3 years after what happened in Ferguson, Michael Brown's death. And so there is an element here amongst this community that has a distrust of police. And so you're seeing some of that perhaps carry over. Interestingly enough, a little bit of a different scenario in the sense that in Ferguson, there were a lot of burned buildings and substantially more damage. The hope is that this incident here will not continue to grow. However, I will say last night, 80 arrests was the most arrests. Wow. The first night there were 33. The night before, 10 or 11 arrests, now 80. So hopefully this isn't a pattern of an escalating scenario as we saw in the weeks and months following Ferguson.
All right, well, I know we saw the governor got way out ahead on this one as well as local law enforcement. Griff Jenkins, thank you this morning.